Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. Hello, New Orleans lady. Long time no see. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing good. Sorry about the attire, but I just probably about 30 minutes ago got home from a softball tournament, so hadn't had time to freshen up or anything. This is what you get. So, I hope everybody's doing good. I wanted to kind of get together tonight and talk about some facts that we know of in this case, but it's facts that maybe not everybody knows or has heard a lot about. So I wanted to kind of go over those. We keep hearing the same things over and over and over and over for 2 years. Hey, Kim, thanks for coming by and listening. But yeah, we just keep hearing the same things. And I want to just kind of go over some other things. And when I started writing it all down and putting it all on paper, I was like so surprised how things are connected in this case. It's almost like you can pick a person and you can connect them in so many different ways. But okay, well, let's get started. We're going to start with Tony Hammond. So he is a local there, and he is an RSO. He is a registered offender. And Tony was in the truck when Sherfy Jr. was pulled over and arrested. So we know who Sherfy Jr. is. And Tony Hammond and him are well connected. There was Chambers, and it's blue roofed on. His house, he was there at that house the day that Summer come up missing. So that's a fact we know for sure. Um, Another thing that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit, was in Killer Looks, one of his lives that he did, those other 911 calls in chat, because we were talking about the red truck and stuff. And in chat, Fizzle had said that the red truck abandoned on the side of the road that day that Summer come up missing, there was the red truck, that it was registered to a bogus address on Ben Hill. So it was registered with the Ben Hill address that does not exist. So that's something that was kind of interesting. And then we're going to move to Brad Hayes. And Brad Hayes is Jodie Sue's tattoo artist. He is a registered sex offender as well. His girlfriend is Amanda Harris. And H's sister, True, Amanda Harris is her aunt. So there's a big connection there. And then he has a brother named Chad Hayes. And Chad Hayes is married to Marlena Crawford. Chad and Brad were at the Wells house the weekend before Summer come up missing. There was a big party going on, and they were both there. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for being here tonight. So they were both there during that time. Brad lives just past Solomon's Temple. And Brad does have a charge for tattooing a minor, aka branding, is what I was told. He had branded a young kid. And that just all goes back to that sex trafficking stuff. So there's another big connection there. I did, and all these are just random things that I found out that I'm going to go over because we don't talk about a lot of these things. Miss Stedman, that lives on Beach Creek. Hey, Innocent, thanks for being here. Sammy, thanks for being here. But Miss Stedman, who is from Beach Creek, happens to work at the store where Candace supposedly went the day that Summer was missing. And during her 2-hour empty timeline, supposedly she went to a store. And this would be the store. So I thought that was really interesting. No, I did not watch Candace's live today. Was it sad or was it good? Were there at that festival? Wasn't there a festival thing today and a bunch of them were setting up a booth? Hey, Rita. Thanks for being here. So anyways, I will check on Candace's live. I'll check it out tonight for sure. I want to talk a little bit about Marlena Crawford. What do I think happened to Summer? Well, there's a couple of different things. Lady R, so good to see you, my friend. Yes. Okay. We're going to pause. Yes. Now, I heard that they got arrested. I did hear that Chillbilly and Rap got arrested on a felony charge of stalking, I think is what it was. I haven't seen a whole lot about that, but Daisy did say she was filing charges. And they did drive by. And supposedly, you know how that goes. Oh, okay. Lady R saw the paperwork. They did get arrested. It's confirmed. And supposedly, now, I don't know how much truth is behind this, but Justice for All paid them to do it. I don't know. So, oh, there was a few others that they stalked as well. Wow, I did not know that. I knew about Daisy's, but I didn't know about any others. Wow. You know, that's when things step over that line. There's no need for that. You know, women stalking women, men stalking women, women stalking men. Doesn't matter what it is, don't. Yeah, Lady R. I don't know. I heard that's what I've heard is that Justin had paid them. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's something that's been made up. I don't know. But that's a line that got crossed and it should have never happened. And I hate that they got arrested. I don't want to see anybody get arrested for something stupid like that. But I mean, I don't know stalking wise what was done there. I don't know. So, oh my goodness, Sammy, that's crazy. Oh, sometimes you think you do something and you think it's funny because they laughed about it. They thought it was funny. And it's not funny. Not no more. They're not laughing, I'm sure. Because that affects their real life. They brought real life into it. Yeah, that's not cool to stalk somebody at all. Period. End of story. That is so sad. But uh, that's sadly where this YouTube community has gone to. You have bullies that are pushing people around. You know, you give me this and I won't tell about that, or you made me mad today, so I'm telling about your whole damn family. Mm, I don't know. They took over Candace's phone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. See, it's all just out of control. Control. Should not happen. Should never have been a thought. And I'm sure they thought it was funny. But you cross that line and you got to pay the price for it. And I hate it. Yeah, I agree with you, Lady R. Rap is not a dumb person. He is very highly intelligent and he knows what he's doing, especially with computer stuff. For sure. Oh, goodness. That's so sad. It's just sad. I don't get it. I don't understand why grown people got to play like they're in junior high. This is just uh, too much. Too much, too much. I didn't want to comment on it. I'm glad y'all brought it up because I just didn't know for sure. So I didn't want to say a whole lot about it. I bet Jinkies isn't laughing right now, though. You know, and the sad part is, she was just saying how Rap wants nothing more than to get his kid back. In his life. This ain't gonna help. And Chillbilly's got a little girl that he gets, and he loves her. But is that gonna affect that? I don't know. I don't know. It is so sad. Um, yeah, Rita, hate, 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 hate. It's oh, it's horrible. Mm. Oh, whoa. Sun King, his son was there. Chillbilly put his son on camera for ages. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that doesn't help nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, I agree, Lady R. He should do better for a father. He really should. I mean, there's no excuse. They did what they did. End of story. You got to pay the price. Oh, I bet. Mm. Oh, okay. That was in Jinkies. I don't know. It's just very, very sad. I even things are just so out of control. Somebody gets pissed off at you, they're going to start bringing out your whole family and everything. And I thought about, what? I'm going to get all my two kids, my daughter-in-law, son-in-law, grandbabies, everybody here with me one night. Introduce them all. Let them tell you what they do in life. Get it over with. There's not a whole lot here anyways, but geez, I don't want my grandkids or my kids being threatened by, you got to do what I do, or what I say, or I'm going to put your information out there. They were at the festival. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's just you're messing with people's lives, and I'm sure, in my opinion, I guess I should say, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure Rap and Chillbilly did not mean any harm to anyone, but I bet that those that they were stalking had a sense of less security in their life. So, yeah, it's really sad, and sorry guys, my back is killing me. I've been sitting in a lawn chair all day, all day, all day. But yeah, it's sad where we're at, and I don't get it. And that's why I've not been on very much. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to get on here. I mean, you kind of stay with the flow of things and how things are going and kind of what direction everybody's, going with or whatever, and you kind of take it and kind of go the same, just trying to keep momentum going for summer. But you know what? It's hard when you have all of this going on what has always supported summer. So, yeah, it's a sad place. And I've been depressed enough, and I've been fighting depression, and I wanted no part of it. So I've stayed away. I've gone into other chats, and a lot of time I'm in chats and I see all of y'all in there chatting and stuff, and I just don't even chat. I just, like I said, have been really fighting the depression for myself, and just didn't quite feel like conversating, a whole lot. So I've just not said anything. But I don't agree with all this stuff. I don't I don't agree with it. And I cannot stand behind it, and I can't support it, and I don't want to call anybody out on it, because the next thing you know, my name's going to be in their mouth, and I don't want that. It's not what I'm here for. But I want Summer found. That baby has been gone too long. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody is any closer than they were day one, I don't think. Hey, was his, how you doing? Hope you're good. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, and that's, when I started putting these things down that I've been confirmed, but yet I've had them little piece here, little piece here, little piece over here and here, just all over the place. And I thought, I need to get this organized. And when I started writing these things down, I was just like, whoa, there are so many connections in that area that it is crazy. And I thought, I'm going to come on and talk about it because it's a lot of things that people don't talk about, a lot of things that are not being said. So we're going to try to be different. We're going to actually talk about some stuff. Oh, eating some spaghetti. Yum. So let's get back to that. Oh, innocent, don't be depressed. Hang in there. Just email me sometime and I'll talk to you. Whatever you need. I'm here because I get that. It is the hardest thing to fight through sometimes. Oh, good golly. My theory though is like I have this one thing that I keep holding on to on as to oh, my Aunt Sherry's in here, my sister-in-law. Hey Aunt Sherry. I love you. Um but the theory, it almost changes. So it's so hard to pin down one theory in this case. You know, I really, for a long time, I was stuck on the neighbor. I was stuck with Jodie Sue. And, I'm fixing to talk about a whole different thing here. And Jodie Sue even kind of talks about it herself a little bit. So we'll talk about that for sure. And it is a very big possibility. There's so many possibilities. It's hard to pin down one. So we all know Marlena Crawford. And Dawn gave her husband a job. Yeah, see? I mean, the one me and you, Lady R, talked about, we're going to be talking about it a little bit here tonight. A big possibility. But so Dawn gave Marlena's husband a job. She and her husband stole Dawn's tools. And we all know she's in an active addiction. And we all know that she stole birth certificates from several different people. And if I'm not mistaken, Summer's birth certificate was one of them. Or I had heard it was. I don't know that it was ever confirmed. But she took Bobby Dykes. I don't hear his name a whole lot, but I know she took him up there to the Wells property. And they got into the house in Dawn's shed and took a bunch of stuff. Marlena only gave an interview and it was well known that she would only give an interview for a large amount of money. And I guess that's why we don't hear from her much. I think we have heard from her one time. Um, Tracy, I do agree with you. I don't see anyone just walking up there. This is nothing stranger. I would lay money on the table right now. This has got nothing to do with the stranger. Summer going missing has nothing to do with the stranger. I do think she was lured down to the bottom, I think, and put into some sort of transportation. It's my opinion there. So, now I'm going to mention this part. I've seen it parked where she lives, but I was told that Marlena drove a blue minivan. And if you remember, Candace and her mom said that they saw a blue minivan parked at Jodie Sue's driveway the morning Summer went missing. So I thought that was very interesting. And Dawn had said on, I think it was Cher's Live, that he believed Marlena would take Summer because she was so mad at Dawn. Yeah, I agree, Lady R. People, they just, some people have a lot of nerve to do weird things. But I don't think it's a stranger. Somebody knew that place. But we know Marlena left her daughter at the Wells house for weeks and weeks at a time. And we know that just a couple of days before Summer come up missing, Dawn finally took Journey, Marlena's little girl, to Lady R. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but it was her mother, Marlena's mother's house, the grandmother's house, or the aunt's house. I forget which one. But he took her back, took her somewhere because she had been there for a couple weeks and Marlena hadn't been nowhere around. And Candace said, we got to do something with her. Yeah, her mom's house. Okay. So we know that happened just a few days before Summer come up missing. And on Marlena's Facebook post on December 16th, 2021. So this is 6 months. Marlena's Facebook post says, "Shit reveals itself. Just sit back and watch." I thought that was really kind of a strange thing to say. But so now we're going to talk about Earl Taylor. Hi, Helen. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being here. So Earl Taylor, now on this that I'm fixing to talk about right here, came from Ziggy's Live. that she did in February 2022, I think it was. Um, Earl Taylor died of an overdose. He was found face down in a creek. And that was one day after Summer come up missing. He was married to Celeste Taylor. They lived on Light Hollow Road. Celeste is now living with Ricky Crawford Jr., Marlena's brother, in the same house on Light Hollow Road. So there's a whole nother connection there. Now, I'm going to throw out a theory. This is not a fact, okay? Spirit, yes, I understand what you're saying totally. So Journey's dad was not a big part of her life. Marlena kind of bounced around. She lived here, lived there, left her daughter here, left her daughter there. What if Journey was the target and they did not know that Dawn took her back? Could be. Maybe not. But listen to these that I'm fixing to tell you here. So, Jodie Sue Brown, in August the 29th, 2023, she said, same pattern, same stuff. It was all a setup. Did you make a mistake? Did you take the wrong girl? And she has said that before. And that was in August of this year. Now, in February, yes, Helen, she did. She said her little daughter, Journey, had told her that they were packing a suitcase for summer because she was going on a long trip. So, February of this year, these are, Jodie Sue had one of her monologues, okay? And these are some things that she said. Kind of keep in mind that little theory that I just threw out a while ago, a possibility. Just kind of keep that in your mind when you listen to some of these things. She said, they bring in the cleanup crew. Just out of the blue. She had a 10, 15-minute pause. She comes back on. And she says they bring in the cleanup crew. Movements in dark, especially in dark. Then she says that she's pissed because people keep getting access to search her property. And she says also, Candace caught on camera buying meth. red truck supposedly followed Jodie 2 different times. The red truck that she supposedly saw. She gonna come out and say that it followed her 2 times. First I ever heard about it. Then she said, keeps using the word run off. Candace lost more than she said. Rose didn't find out until after summer what happened to Rose. They lied about all of it. So I'm guessing Jodie Sue now knows what happened to Rose. And she goes on to say the story is hard to tell without bringing kids into it. She doesn't say the boys. She doesn't say their kids. She just says the story is hard to tell without bringing kids into it. The kids could break the chains for them. And then she said, monsters doing to kids what their parents did to them. Then her words say cries equals fake equals target equals terrorized by monsters. So then she had this long pause for about 10 minutes, and something must have pissed her off because she comes back and talks about crap being put out. And then she paused. And she said, no. And she went off camera. She comes back about 5 minutes later talking about threats, saying, bitch, I will eat you. And then she says, fake fight. Then she says, raising money. She said, she is the only one to admit she's a victim. Whoever took Summer may still have her. I thought that was very interesting. Then she said, Fred talked about Knoxville to make people look the other way. Fred talked about Knoxville, not Don, but Fred talked about Knoxville to make people look the other way. Then she says 110 had the most traffic, everyone partying, even kids. Then she paused and said, giving the kids substances on 110. And then she says it has to be someone else's fault, never their fault. Fred, new guy at work, Frank Light. Candace knew a baby was sold for meth on another hill down the road. Taking a kid is not something the cornbread mafia is into. They're more worried about the Oxycontin highway. Candace passed out by dark allows Dawn to take advantage of that. The boys are no longer the favorite. Summer takes over at a certain age. It's not right that little girls are allowed to stay the night on the hill. Now, this one is interesting. Candace told Sheriff and Dawn different things. Then she says, different than what it was. Little, she told you one thing and the sheriff something different. Now, is that her little? Because I think if it was the boys, she would have called them the boys or their kids. I don't know. She doesn't clarify. She said the spokesman of kids is wearing the weight of the world. The oldest started acting out. Not notice dogs. Adults told him to shut up. The animals, the dogs, are going where Summer is. He's told to shut the F up. It's so odd. It would be so odd, she said, if something happened to Summer on 125. 125 was her address. So why would something happen to Summer on 125? Why is one wearing the weight of the world? Did they see the red flash? Hear the car door? I believe that. Kids want to find Summer, but they are told to shut the F up. Them kids aren't stupid. Neither are the dogs. So when Summer came up missing, and the last two grown-ups that were with her were her mother and grandmother, and the mother tells a story with a timeline that has missing pieces. Some things didn't make sense. We picked it apart. We pretty much instantly knew that there's things that aren't being said here. So you got a neighbor that's across the street that instantly came over and started looking. Instantly. She just knew. She didn't even have to be told Summer was gone, that she's disappeared and can't be found. She just started just looking, walking in the creek, took her shoes off and everything to hide her scent. I guess she didn't know that dogs can have a scent and find a scent in water. But she would have been the perfect person to help us to understand things, to understand what it was like to live there with the Wells prior to Summer going missing, what it's like to live during the time Summer come up missing, and since then, what it's been like. But she throws out these monologues that makes absolutely no sense to anybody but herself. She contradicts herself. You know, there is a video out there that criminal or something like that. Um, she started this video where it shows her contradicting everything. She talks about how much Summer is loved, and they just love her, and she's so precious, and blah 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 blah, and then turns around and just talks about, I hate kids. I hate kids. She'd want to push one off the cliff if they put a toe on her property. I mean, come on. Obviously, she's a woman that's scorned and is using a little girl's case to project her cancer, her baby daddy leaving her. They weren't married, but he had somebody else, and she was hurt bad, deeply. And she wanted to make it right. She wanted to make him pay. And we know that all of a sudden, when Andy goes live, she's going to bring up the fact that Andy's selling drugs to sedate the kids on 110. Go ask him. She turns around and says later, he wouldn't do anything to harm those kids. He wasn't selling drugs to them. That's just wrong. So this is what we have to go off of. And then we have Fred Hill that talks to Ziggy. And, do you believe Fred Hill? I believe some of what he says because it's been proven, some of it, and I believe it. Some of what he's saying, I think, is just to throw stuff out there. And then we have the parents who don't know if they want to, drown their sorrows in drugs and alcohol, or try to stay clean and sober so they can get their kids back. Go to church and do what's right. So Summer Moon Utah Wells, 5-year-old little girl, on June 15th, 2021. She's no longer to be found. And there's not a whole lot of help out there for her. Because every time we think we might have something going, it turns around and there's a whole different contradicting story that comes behind it. And what does that leave us with? It leaves us with not a whole lot of stuff. And like I said earlier, with all these connections and these people that aren't talked about a whole lot, everybody's connected somehow in that area. And nobody's going to talk. No one's going to talk. Everyone's afraid of somebody. And hey, thank y'all for coming in, Dustin. And okay, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, but is it Radmilla? I hope that's right. But yes, you're right. It's just all distractions, especially from the neighbor, the one person that could really tie down this case here and help to solve it. I really think she could, but she don't even know how to tell the truth. She is one of the most miserable people I've ever seen. She is so sour on everybody that is trying to help Summer. And I don't know if she honestly believes that all or if that's her way of just keeping crap flowing out there. Because so much of what's been said, you don't know. You don't know what to believe. And it is so aggravating because there are people that care. There's people that really want to find Summer, want to see that she is either okay or get her the help that she's needing. We really want that. I want that for her. And on my thumbnail, I have Halloween pumpkins. Tonight, after a softball tournament, I go to our public library where there's a little fall festival happening. Our youth group from church went and helped. They were making slime. They were making drawing, had pumpkins, pictures and stuff, and they were coloring those. They made little bags and decorated them with some little things. And bunch of different little activities they had there for the kids. And all I kept thinking about tonight was here's another little fun time that Summer's not going to get to do it again that we know of. And I think her case is very well populated. People are speaking about it all over the place, all over the world, from coast to coast, top to bottom. We know she's being talked about. So if someone does have her, I agree with Dawn on this one. She can't go out in public. Yes, Red Miller, I agree. This baby needs to be found. But all the people that can help us, that can put out some good information and tell the God's honest truth, would we even believe them? That's the saddest part of all. You don't know what's truth and what's not truth on here. You got a lady that's taking her shoes or her sandals off and walking in the creek to hide her scent from the dogs. Why? Why do you have to hide your scent? That's a very simple question. Why? Why do you feel it necessary to hide your scent? Lady R, you hit it on the head right there. But what if all of what's being said by these people is the God's honest truth? What if Jodie Sue knows something, but she's terrified to say? What if she hears things, but she can't directly say it? And I've heard out of her own mouth, I've already told y'all what happened. You just haven't listened and put the pieces together. Well, she said so much, nobody knows what the pieces are. And Dawn and Candace, God love them. They've told the same story. And if that was a quickly made up story, it sunk in really good, because whether they were high as a cat, whether they were drunk as a skunk, whether they were stone cold sober, the story has never changed with them. So I don't know. Tonight, after going through all this here, there's a whole new theory that could be possible. There's a whole new theory. So I don't know. Innocent. I don't know what to think anymore. And that's a very frustrating place for me to be in, because I have tried to not accuse the parents, only because if they are innocent, I don't want to be that person that has hurt them even more, because I know the hurt of losing a child, not so much being lost, but I have had recently to bury my son. I know that hurt, and that sorrow that just rips you apart and changes who you are. And I don't want to be a part of making that worse if they're innocent. Now, if it turns out they are guilty, that's on them. That's totally on them. Rhonda Lynn, that is a whole nother thing. I have already gone there in my head. What if JSB is protecting her killer dog? After Summer disappeared, Andy told JSB never to mention that dog again. She said that in one of her lives. She's also said that dog was like precious and innocent and sweet, but they had to keep him locked up, chained up, because he was so mean. Nobody could get around him. So, oh, Helen, it is the hardest thing in life. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for anyone who has to go through that, because that's just a whole nother place in life that I never thought I would be at, but I'm there. The whole CPS, let's blame CPS thing. I'm sorry, but Tim Mullins should never be a media manager for nobody. And he's the one that's got Dawn on all this big kick with the CPS, stealing his kids. No, they didn't steal his kids. I would like to understand why the boys were taken. I understand they had a daughter that's missing, but there's other people in this world who's had a child come up missing, but their kids didn't get taken away. Was it the drugs? Was it the alcohol? Was it the lifestyle? From what I'm hearing, the Wells, did not have a perfect house, but that was not that far-fetched for that area there. So I don't know. So many questions, so much out there that you can be given one word, one name, and you can create a scenario where it is very plausible for that person or that instant to be what happened to Summer. That's how bad this case is. That is how bad that everyone that's connected out there. And we just talked about all these connections. I mean, even to Allie's daughter, True, her aunt is connected in there. But everybody's connected out there. Somehow, some way, they're all connected. Oh, but nobody knows anybody. So don't ask because nobody knows them. Andy didn't know Fred Hill very good. No, he didn't know who Marlena Crawford was. And then it comes out he's cousins to both of them. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, Helen, I was like blown away. I figured there would be a couple of them out there when they first started bringing this out and everybody started looking into it. And it was like, oh, there's a couple of registered offenders here. Wow. And then it exploded. I just could not believe it. But, all because of Summer, everybody knows about that now. Everybody knows about that dark, dark, dark web. Everybody knows the names, where they live. Everybody knows it's happening. Oh, Kim, he is a big one. He is a big one for me. Very big. And that horse, I keep going back to that horse. Lord have mercy. From what I've been told, they dug up. They saw there's a horse buried there. It's the horse that we saw in the video running behind Lawson and them while they're giving a little statement on the news. That horse dies and is buried. Yes. I want to know what's under that horse. Because you would get the decomp of a horse over a small child. And a dog would pick up on that horse scent so strongly. I agree, Innocent. That the cart should have been checked for sure. For sure. They believe that Summer's been moved around a couple of times. What makes you think that? What makes the official people that out there think that? She possibly could have been moved around several times. Yes, Lady R. Oh, that one's a big one for me. That is a big one. I will say this. Summer was not taken by a stranger. I would bet money on that. There was no stranger that came up there and took that little baby. I think it was a planned effort. I think someone was at the bottom of the hill and they saw her. They took her. They let somebody else know. I think she was swapped out several times. So I do believe there was a horse involved. I do believe there was probably a motorcycle involved. The motorcycles that destroyed all that evidence that Kim and Allie had flagged when they were out searching with a search rescue person. And I think there's several more things that could have been involved with that, but I don't know. That's the bad part. Nobody knows. Nobody can say. And so we all get frustrated with it. What more is there to say? We've said everything. So when I was trying to figure out what am I going to talk about next, I started finding these names that don't get mentioned very often. Well, let's talk about them. Let's put it out there. Make sure people know who they are, how they're connected to somebody else. So I think we just keep doing stuff like this. I think that's all we can do. We cannot let her name die. We cannot give in to bullies. We cannot give in to stalkers. So I'm going to keep trying to find stuff that we can talk about. I'm going to keep trying to remind everybody that there are so many possibilities in this case that we could sit here all night and keep going and going and going. I mean, you talk about Cotton, all of a sudden this man's name comes up. Fred Hill's pretty sure of it. He's known it all along. And then the waterfalls get brought up. Well, when Fred first talked to Ziggy, if you listen to that, I did a whole live about it, played it, we heard it. Fred said that they took his neighbor right past him and asked him to go with them to the waterfall. And let's go check them. That was during the search for Summer at the very, very beginning. These things are out there. They're little things that we overhear. So let's just keep going back and listening. Let's keep going back and going through it. Let's keep trying to understand more. Yes. Angel Girl. Yeah. Thank you for coming, by the way. And Lisa Kennedy, thanks for being here. From Oklahoma City. And anybody else I didn't mention, thanks for being here, y'all. It means so much to me that y'all are here. That we can have this discussion. Everybody can throw out ideas and their thoughts. We're okay with that. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's supposed to be. Because I got my thoughts going on over here. Well, you bring something new to the table, and it's like a light bulb goes off over here for me, and it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Wait a minute. I need to look into this. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how people work together. And that's what I want for my channel. So I hope everybody is on the same as that. Because I just love all the stuff that's being put out, Oh, I agree, Helen. It has not been handled right from the very first. Why are they only searching so many miles away from the house? And that's it. That is all they're searching. One of my lives, I brought it up. They're looking out in the grass, out in the trees. What if she was in somebody's house? What if somebody had her in their house and she heard everybody? Summer, where are you? Summer. What if she heard that? But she couldn't say anything and she was in somebody's house. Jodie Sue's even mentioned about her being in a dungeon in somebody's basement, tied up. What if she was? What if that was true? Nobody checked houses. Yes, Kim. I am 100% with you on that one. Kim said, my opinion, YouTube and the false tips haven't helped, wasted so much resources. I agree. Totally has. Now, I do hear things that I would say that would be interesting, possible, that could lead to something. And those things, yeah, turn them in. But when it's stuff that is just hasn't been confirmed or anything like that, it's just that's uncalled for. Oh yeah, Don was staying at some of his rent house, or not rent houses, but where he was working. That doing that drywall because he was trying to avoid CPS. Oh, thank you, Lady R. I try to be respectful. I really do. Within 7 minutes from Ben Hill. What's that mean? Tell me what we're talking about. 7 minutes from Ben Hill is, I'm trying to think, what is it? Hey, I'm putting a link out. If anybody wants to come up, if y'all got something to say, come on up. Um, 7 minutes from Ben Hill. In the very beginning, Don said he didn't live there. Jodie said Summer. Oh, yeah. That's right. Jodie said Summer could be within 7 minutes, not 5 minutes, not 20 minutes, not 15 minutes, 7 minutes. Very precise. Hey, Lori P. Thanks for coming in. Was he avoiding CPS because he wasn't supposed to be living there because she was getting food stamps? I think, Rhonda, that he wasn't wanting to be there because they would do a drug test, is what I understood. I may be totally wrong, but I don't know. Who knows? That's part of this whole scenario. Who the heck knows? We can't figure it all out. It's hard to tell what's the truth and what's not the truth. And even when you listen to Lawson, who is the head honcho guy, can't believe him. I can't believe him. I don't believe a man that would go out of his way to serve injustice to teenage girls because he wanted his son to get a slap on the wrist and served less than a year jail time for raping those two girls. One was his adopted daughter. And you go to court on a day that the courts are closed, so nobody's there. And then he gets 20 years, 19 reduced. Freaking hello. Had it in another county, held the court in another county. Yeah, those things. No. After all that, I have no respect for him. He should not be sheriff. I agree. I do agree. No, that man lost all of my respect because that's just wrong. Those girls can be in Walmart just walking along with their families and bump into that man. And it hadn't even been a year. That's not long enough for them to get past that. But he just got a slap on the wrist because of who his daddy was. So, no, I don't have no respect for him at all. At all, at all. That's just me. That's just me. Let's see. What if it was his son that took Summer? That has been a thought. That has been a thought. I mean, the man had you know, gazillions of times where he was alone with these kids, these young teenage kids, because he was a youth pastor at the church, a deacon. Just not cool. Oh, yeah. Well, Helen, there we go. So, yes, he is creepy. Yeah, that whole situation was wrong, but that was par for the course, because Summer's case couldn't get solved that quick. And she's just an innocent little girl. And that's the worst part of all of this. You know, Halloween fixing come up. Everybody's going to be trick or treating, going to little fall festivals. She's not going to be there with her family, with her brothers, with her mom and dad. And, nobody really seems to care because they're not doing anything to help. Oh, wow. Hi, Jane. Thanks for coming. That is interesting. Jane said, I watched some things today about CPS corruption. Linda Schaefer, Georgia senator, rumors she was assassinated because she was trying to expose them. Interesting. That is interesting. You know, Helen goes back to the Carly Trent case. She was found on Ronnie Lawson's family land. Yep. Yep. Makes you wonder. But at this point, anything's possible. Anything is possible when it comes to Summer's case. Anything and everything's possible at this point because nothing's been proven to not be correct, not be, no, that's eliminated. No, none of that. We don't have nothing eliminated. Everyone's still a suspect. I mean, are they going to live the rest of their lives being a suspect? That's just wrong. And if I lived there, I would be beating down the doors for them to go ahead and clear my name and say I'm not a suspect. Yes. Yes, you're right, Lady R, because Carly Trent's uncle, Gary Simpson, he's in court saying, I don't understand the kidnapping charges. He never said he didn't understand the SA charges. He just didn't understand about the kidnapping. Carly was living with her aunt and uncle. Her father, I believe it was, that got custody back, and the uncle went and picked her up. She was missing for a little while, and she was found in a cave with her uncle, who had essayed her. Yes, his words. They did it all the time. they would go off all the time. There are some strange people in this world and some pretty disgusting ones. And that's all being brought out, it's all being brought out in the open. And I think we're doing good by talking about all this and bringing it out and getting it out there. We don't hear a lot about her now. I haven't heard anything. So I don't know, Rhonda, if she's doing okay or not. But I'm sure she had to have counseling and stuff. She probably still is. Just hope that she was young enough that she can get that counseling and overcome it. Because no child should have to go through any of that. None. It's wrong. I don't understand a person that can hurt a child, whether it is grabbing them by the arm too hard, whether it's yanking them around turning them around to look at you, or, spanking them. I got spanked with a belt when I was young. My mama got mad at one time because of what I did. And me and my cousin saw an old house that was dilapidated and there were some windows. We went, stomped all over those windows, busted them to pieces. We didn't know they were new windows that they were fixing to put in that old house because they were restoring it. And of course, I think I was like 6. But yeah, I got a spanking. But I never stomped on windows again. I never took somebody else's property for my playground. But it was because I didn't get beat. I just paid attention. Kids have, yeah, Lori, you said it right there. Kids, life is hard enough for kids. Kids have a hard road trying to figure out who they're going to be and what they're going to do in life and, all this. And then you have grown-ups who push themselves, threaten these children. It's just not cool. Not cool at all. And it makes no sense to me why it would even happen. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't understand it. I cannot get that at all. My children were my whole life. They are grown adults. And I still want to know when my son, who owns his own business and he does videos and filming and stuff like this, and he has to go out of town for that. And I get aggravated because I don't know he's out of town. Nobody told me. He didn't make that phone call to me. I want to know. He's my baby. But, I'm proud of him for what he's doing. I'm very proud of him. But he's still my baby. And I still want to know. And I still want to protect him. And I tell him every time he gets on an airplane, be safe. Be careful. Let me know you landed. He's finally quit doing all that because he's like, Mom, I am 34 years old. I'm not going to tell you when I land. So most of the time he does, though. But, I couldn't imagine. And I couldn't imagine if I found out somebody had done something to my children. Oh, yeah, I would be in jail. I would hurt them. I would hurt them in a bad way. So it makes me sick. And then, here's this little girl that I don't even know. Never met her. I never knew about Rogersville, Tennessee. I never knew about 110 Ben Hill. Had no idea about Beach Creek area. But I fell in love with this little girl, this precious little baby that she's not a baby, she's a little girl, but she's precious. She deserves a good life. She deserves to not be with somebody who's hurting her or harming her. She deserves to be with a good family, but be able to go out into the open and go play and meet new friends. And if she's not with us anymore, she deserves a proper burial. You know, it's just sad. Why can they not find a 5-year-old child? I don't get it. Hi, Diamond Girl. Thanks for being here. Yeah. I'm telling you, that mama thing kicks in. Yeah, Jane, it is very, very odd. It's just so frustrating because I just wish they would say, hey, look, we have eliminated this person, this person, this person. Okay, let's take them off our list. Let's start concentrating on those that are not cleared. That would help. And all we're doing is just keeping Summer's name out there, keeping those possibilities out there because we got to speak for her. Because nobody in her area, nobody around her hill is speaking anything that we can say 100% is the truth because it's been so misleading, very bizarre wording. The neighbor and her monologues get a little far fetched. You don't know if she's just drunk and making up words or if she's sitting there spilling her heart out. But everybody has contradicted themselves so much and put out stuff that's not true as truth. So it's hard to believe. We don't know what to believe. We don't know which person to really concentrate on. So therefore, stuff gets spewed around, people get feelings hurt, then we got people over here that's fake feds and some over here trying to, you know, put something off on somebody else and, let me dox this person because they piss me off. That's where all of this is going to, because grown-ups don't know how to play together. Yeah, Kim, I think that booth is really awesome. I we did have a what we call our forest festival here where I live, and it's a 5-day event, big event. Um and I work out at the expo where it's held, and I had flyers every night when people would start coming through the gates. I would hand out flyers. Yes, Rhonda. Supposedly, his sister saw Summer's clothes in the washing machine. None of that's ever been confirmed. I don't know. It's frustrating. I wish we knew something. We do know there was um, a scent Her scent, summer scent, was definitely hit on. And yeah, Kim, I don't pay Jodie Sue no mind. I do listen to her to see what new things she's coming up with. It's like, what is she doing now? So it's just crazy, crazy little place that we decided to call our home here on YouTube. But one day, I pray that God will let things come to light. And all of this will all be worth it. I pray that she's alive and still with us. I'm not quite sure I believe that. I don't know. It's hard to believe one way or the other, but I pray for this little girl to be found one way or the other. And, I know for sure that Fred's driveway had her scent, but I'm not sure about around the truck. I heard it, but I don't know. Yeah, Helen. It's just, yeah. If you follow the dog scent to the road, there's a scream, a red truck, no trace, no footprints. You know, it's to me, it goes from 110 Ben Hill at the end of the dog trail. Next, you would go to Fred's house. There's a scent there. From there, if you went straight this way, there's the ridge where they found a footprint in her scent. And from that ridge, if you went straight down towards Beach Creek, they found another footprint right down there. And then her scent disappears from there. So it's kind of all we know. Doesn't mean it went in that order. Doesn't mean, I mean, I've never had anybody ask, or I've never heard anyone ask Fred Hill when the last time Summer was at his house walking on his driveway. Nobody's asking that I've heard. So if it was weeks and weeks and weeks before, then her scent shouldn't have been there. If it was a day before, a couple days before, her scent might be still there. Yes, exactly, Kim. The way the footprints described, it was picked up, like she had been picked up, sat down, and picked straight back up. So, could it be that she might be draped across a horse and she fell off of it? That's my thought. So, where's the proof? Jim, what proof are you looking for? What are you talking about? Help me understand that one. Yeah, Angel Girl, you are right. They play games. They thought it'd be funny to prank call Dawn's sister. That's not funny. Not funny at all. But Yeah, they do have a, and I will say this, when I lost my son and we got him buried, did our service, and I had to deal with that the days after all of that. I had to make myself stay away from alcohol because I was afraid if I took a drink and I might have felt relaxed, I might have never stopped. And if they were already a substance abuse involved, then that would be their go-to. The proof of her scent, is that what we're talking about? Is that what he was saying? Where's the proof? Jim, is that what you were talking about? Like the footprints and stuff and her scent? Um, Ellie has talked about her scent. I was told that her scent did not stop there at the driveway and the road. But Ronnie Lawson does say the dogs followed her scent down a trail to the driveway and stopped where the pavement came to the road. And Dave Radar from EquiSearch confirmed, yes, Kim, you're right. He did, that they had found prints. So it has been talked about. It has been told by us, or to us by law enforcement. So I just, I pray that they do have more than what they have put out to us. And if they do, I really hope they're doing something about it, because Summer deserves more. Miss Justice. You know what? If it was some kind of wacky social media experiment, we are all dancing monkeys. That's for sure. So, yeah. Sometimes I wonder, did Dawn and Candace think, yeah, Kim, we failed. But I wonder if Dawn and Candace thought maybe they might have took Summer away. So maybe they made sure she's somewhere safe. I don't know. I don't know. It's so sad, so confusing. Yeah, Miss Justice, I agree with you. Sometimes it's like, do I say that? Do I not say that? I don't know. I mean, I, and I respected the people who told me that her scent did not end at the road, at the end of the driveway at the road. But Ronnie Lawson said that. And it's out there. It's on video. We've all heard, most of us have heard that. So, but anyways, guys, y'all just keep your ears open. If you hear something that you haven't heard before, write it down. Take your notes, and go back and check it out. You never know. You never know. And we don't have anything else to go off of than just what we've got going. What we're sticking with. Yeah, I understand that one totally, about that Rhonda. I mean, I just my heart goes out to them, and I pray that they're being honest. But I don't know that I would be surprised if they weren't. Yeah. Yeah. Angel girl, you're right. They do blame everybody. And that's not going to accomplish anything, Stop blaming people, you know? Just accept what is and let go of what isn't. Because that's the only way you're going to move forward in this case. Anybody. We got to stick to as much of the truth as we can. If I tell you something that I know has not been proven a fact, I will let you know that. I will straight up say, hey, look, this is what I was told. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to put it out here. So that's what I can do. I put out a theory today. Well, that's just my theory, just a theory I had going through these notes. And Jodie Sue has said it several times. Did you take the wrong child? Did you take the wrong girl? Were you mistaken? So then I got to wondering, could it be? At this point, anything's possible, and it's been discussed before, but I don't think we'll ever get what we're wanting from the parents because I know there is a big, huge gapped timeline with this big gaping hole, and it's been the same for 2 years. And yes, Rhonda, of course, Jodie Sue Brown would have turned it around to be her little girl, put the attention on her. Of course, she would do that. But, you know, we're not going to get anything from the neighbor, from the other neighbor, from the other neighbors down the road. None of it. We're not getting nothing from that area. I have questions about the timeline as well. Everybody does, I think. I do think people are telling stories and covering for themselves. And, you know, I did hear that Andy was on Ben Hill that day, and Fred really did see him. But I can't tell you and confirm that because, it's just one of those things. How do you know it's true? Oh, Miss Justice hit it on the head right here. Hit it on the nail on the head. What happens in the holler stays in the holler. I think you're right, for sure. So, all we can do is just keep little Summer's name out there, keep talking about her, keep it going. And it's really sad because there's other cases that we could really be pushing to, but we're so invested in Summer that it's like you don't want to forget about summer. Summer's first in a lot of our lives. And YouTube has become a new family friend, you know? I have met so many people in here, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of them that I have this whole new group of people that I consider my family, my friends. And then, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. Yeah, they say they won't. They're not going to put out the timeline. I don't think we'll ever know about it unless it goes to trial. So it's crazy. So much I wish we knew. I do wish they would start eliminating some of the suspects. So that would probably help a lot. That would probably help. But at this point, everybody's kind of fair game. Yeah, Helen, I am with you. I try to avoid the drama at all cost. I don't even comment. I just listen and stay up in the bushes. The bushes are getting a little crowded these days, but it is what it is. Let's see, Rhonda says, you seem like you have been doing this a long time. How long have you had a channel? I've had my channel since like 2012, but I haven't done lives until probably about this time last year. Somewhere, I want to say it was like the first part of November when I started it. So I'm still a baby. I feel when the boys come out and tell their story, people won't believe them and make excuses for the Wells as though the boys were brainwashed. I wonder about that because there have been so many people talking about the boys are the key. They know things. They're going to say things, but all this time the boys haven't said anything against the parents, or the parents would have been arrested. If the boys knew anything, they haven't said anything. I don't think that can be backed up. Hey, Nico. Oh, thanks, Rhonda. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I like to talk. Yeah, the boys have had no contact with them. But I do think, they have been questioned. They have had counseling. I don't think the boys know a whole lot. I think the oldest one was affected because he felt guilty, like he should have been watching Summer, and he didn't. And I think that's part of his guilt. That's just my opinion. Yeah, Kim, I think they would have. So, I don't know. It's just a very sad thing. A whole family has been completely destroyed. And, why? We go back to the question, why? What is the reason that this little girl, this little country girl, had to be the one to come up missing? Why? Who? Who did it? So, I don't know. It's just so sad. So sad. But, well, we've been on here almost 2 hours. And y'all are probably getting tired of listening to me. But I do want to say thank you for listening. Thank y'all for coming into chat and chatting with me. I love to get feedback. I love to hear what y'all are saying. Like I said earlier, that's how we work together to try to make some sense into this. And that's how we work together to not overlook some things. And I'm so appreciative for y'all. And the fact that we can all get together, we can be here, and there's no drama, there's no yakking, there's nothing. We leave here with new thoughts. We leave here with, okay, maybe I'm going to pay attention. Mr. Jim, you might want to take something for that upset stomach you have. But we appreciate your feedback anyways. Just keep going, keep listening, keep thinking, keep putting out something new. If you hear something, ask, bring it out. So, anyways, thanks for all being here. Yeah. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all are sweet. Y'all are very sweet. I'm so appreciative. Every single person in chat, all those in the bushes. I love you guys. Y'all are awesome. Just keep being who you are. Keep just being there for Summer. Keep listening. And one day, maybe we'll be able to have a party on here because we can find her. And that's our goal. Always remember that. So just keep putting her name out, keep sharing her. Anytime you think of it, tell somebody about her. And always stay kind. Avoid the drama, avoid the mess. It's not worth it. It's really not. But I thank you all for just being you. I thank y'all for listening to me. And if you ever need anything, just send me an email. It's in my about section. I would always love to hear from you. So, thanks, Jane. Welcome aboard. Okay, guys. Y'all all be good. And we'll talk soon. Love and hugs. Bye.